Good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Sarlos. I'm Kelly.
Good morning, I'm Karen.
We're going to start off with show notes today as usual. An unfortunate show note for the fourth time this year. We have made the health conscious decision to cancel our Evening with Medium events for December 4th. We have already sent out notice to all ticket holders, so if this is the first time you're hearing about it, please check your inboxes and your spam folders just in case. The third party that does the ticket sales will be refunding you in full. If you do not see that within a week of receiving your email, please contact us directly and we will look into that for you. We have not set up any 2021 dates just yet, simply because, as you've heard, we've canceled all of 2020. So we're just sort of waiting to see how the trends go and what is going to be safe for everyone. We do want to take the opportunity, though, to say thank you. We've had a flood of emails all year long, as each event was canceled, and then hope for the next one. All people expressing their enthusiasm for the events and their disappointment in not being able to attend. And no matter how you express it, we appreciate your enthusiasm. So that's just the message that we want to get out to everyone. We really look forward to getting back to those, but if and only when it is safe for all of us.
Oh my goodness, I hope 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a second podcast series called Sips of Sanity. Those are short 10 to 15 minute shows on emotional, spiritual, and intuitive intelligence. Kelly and I give you a massive toolkit. The very first show is always available for free on YouTube and the website by Sarlo.com. The remaining 4 shows are available at patreon.com/by Sarlo.
Yes, and every once in a while, there's a bonus one. So I do want to take a moment to kind of dive in a little bit more and educate listeners about what Patreon is all about in full. As Karen mentioned, our aim is to build up people's emotional, spiritual, and intuitive intelligence toolkits. And not only do we have a second podcast series, we have habit trackers, we have reflective questions, you have early access to Coffee with the Sarlos if you don't want to wait for Saturdays. They come out on Thursdays for patrons. You also have an opportunity to learn journeying, which is a really great way to get in touch with your own self and your own intuition. We do guided journeys as well as discussions so that you can get a deeper understanding of what it is you're doing and experiencing. We are launching a book club in January for all patrons in that certain tier. And then on top of that, in our top tier for Patreon, you have an opportunity to have your name thrown into the hat on a monthly basis for a free half-hour session with Karen or myself. So Patreon's available to anyone who wishes to access it. It's a month-to-month membership, or you can pay annually and save 10% all year. And you can come and go as you please. You're not locked into anything. It's meant to support you so that you feel like you've got direction for the changes that you want to make and support all along the way.
Kelly and I have separate private practices. You can reach us by going to the website by Sarlo.com and filling out an information form. It'll come directly to us and we will be in touch with you to set up an appointment. We see people by FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, telephone, and WhatsApp all over the world. And sessions are just as accurate if you're calling from anywhere in the world as you are right here locally with us.
Yes, and then last but not least, we have gift certificates available as well, so anyone can purchase those for anyone else anywhere in the world. You can purchase any denomination. They do not expire. You do need to be specific about who you wish to have the certificate with. We can send you an e-certificate, or if you are local, we can drop it off in our mailbox for contactless pickup. Karen, it's our last Coffee with the Sarlos episode of November, which means that the next time people watch Coffee with the Sarlos on YouTube, these lovely pictures that we have from Poster Store, Scandinavian beautiful store online, they will be wrapped in Christmas paper, and I'm so fucking excited.
Me too.
We've had a beautiful November. We've had great weather. I'm very, very appreciative of that because we've got long, hard winters, but I'm excited for Christmas.
Me too. Okay, so we're going to step right into today's show.
Yeah.
This show is actually going to cover sessions that go over a period of a year.
Oh, okay.
The very first session is Mom. What do you want to call Mom?
Ooh. Well, I'm a little anxious now when I'm naming people because I picked some like really strong names and you've told me they don't suit the personality of the client. So I'm trying to.
Well, that was because you called it
I know.
her Kamala.
I know. I get that. So like what kind of personality am I going for here? Or is that too revealing?
Dedicated,
Dedicated.
hardworking, conscientious.
I'm going to pick Kari.
Oh, is that for your cousin?
Yes. Yes, Kari, if you're watching. Also, Kari Washington.
Oh.
She's a force and I love her and I can't put it into words how much.
Okay.
So as soon as you said that, I think probably post-election, my
Love
brain is going to Kari.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I hope
She sees this.
I hope my character does her service a good service then.
I'll apologize if it doesn't.
Okay, you let me know. So Kari called over a year ago and asked if she could do a psychic session. And the guides popped in right away and said she wants information about her children. And I said, how many? How many is she going to ask me about? And they said 2. She has 2 kids. She has a boy and a girl. So I asked her if that was correct, and she said yes. And I said, are you wanting to know about your kids? Is that one of the reasons you're making this call? And she said, yes, it is. So if you want to start with that, you go right ahead. So I said, do you have any direction? And she goes, I didn't know I was supposed to have direction. And I said, well, that's okay. Then you don't need to, but it's always asked. Because some people have direction and some don't. And you and I don't make those choices for people. Mm-hmm. We allow them to make those choices. And I know other psychics and mediums don't. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't. They just get what they get. But our gifts don't work that way. So that was explained. And she said, I'd like to start with open. And then if I have questions, I'll jump in. So what came through was that her purpose in asking about her children was to figure out how to support them. This was not a question of will they get married, will they have kids, will they make enough money, what will their careers be? And I do know that there are people that do ask those questions, which is totally fine. It's just a different session. Mm-hmm. But her guides came in and said, no, that's not what she's looking for. She wants to be able to ask the questions, what do I do to support them? And I said, well, in order to know that, like, what are they going through? What mm-hmm. do you mean? And so the guide said to me, well, we're going to start with her daughter. Her daughter was sexually assaulted. Mm. And I'm like, oh, shit. I said, does she know? No.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh, my God. Well, what the hell do I do with that? How do I bring that up? And they said, well, it's going to come up because the reason that she's asking how she supports her children is that her daughter is an alcoholic. And I'm like, oh, okay. So did the alcoholism come as a result of this abuse? 100%. Mm-hmm. Was she drinking at all before? No. Mm. Does her mom understand or suspect anything? No. She thinks it's a girlfriend group. She thinks it's a phase and that she'll outgrow it. But it's come to the point, and I said, well, wait a minute. How many years has this been going on? That might help me also give her validations. Well, this has been going on about 6 years. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
The alcoholism.
The alcoholism after the abuse. So I said, well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Something's just clicking for me.
Okay.
The daughter knows she's been sexually abused?
Yes.
The mom does not know.
Correct.
I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I put the age in my head and made some assumptions.
Okay.
I'm a really bad psychic right now. And I can have humility. And I thought you meant that the mom was calling to ask about her daughter, and the daughter did not know she was sexually abused.
No.
So I'm clear now.
That's fair.
So
that's
the mom,
very fair to say that.
Okay, so the mom is completely unaware. She believes her daughter has alcoholism for this phase in her life and is asking how to support her.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, well, is the daughter getting any help? And is she, like, is there, is she in counseling? And, well, she's been through drug therapy, but she's not owning up to it in drug therapy, in rehab. She's not telling them about the sexual abuse. So I said, well, what do you guys want me to do? We want you to tell the mom so she can confront her daughter so that they can move through this. This is a This is a massive block. I said, okay. And I'm just, oh my God, Kelly, I had to put my head down. And I trust the guides. I know everybody that listens to our show knows how much I trust the guides. I needed a moment for the human me. That was just like, okay, this mom is going to hear something. So all of my energy healing, again, I've said this a few times in the shows, but all of a sudden it's like I draw on all the modalities I've ever learned and sit there and try and create this safe space for her. Try and create a space where she will know that I'm not judging.
Or lying.
Or, okay, I was just going to give a list, but you're right in there. This is good. And that it's trustworthy. Because if she takes this information and really believes this and goes to her daughter, this could blow something open for healing, or she could dismiss it all and miss an opportunity to help her daughter.
Or handle the information wildly unhealthily.
Yes.
And create more problems.
God, there's just a variety of things where this could go sideways. So I asked the guides, I said, oh my goodness, please have all my guides here so that I word this properly. Please have all of her guides here so she hears it with the intention that I am trying to put forth for her. So I did my best. And I got to say something. Man, those spirit guides did not let me down. Not mine, not hers. She sat there and just went, what? So yes, shock. And then she's like, and you know when your eyes just kind of go, oh my God, and your brain is searching. It's where, who, when she was this age. Like you can see she's thinking, and the guides are like, she's going into chaos thinking, we're going to answer questions. Let's get going. So while mom is having her moments, which her moments, eh? The guides say to me, this is the age, this is what happened. This was at a campground. So they're now giving specific information that she can go campground. Yes, she went to camp that summer. She didn't go to camp after that. She refused. And it was like, I didn't know why she wouldn't go back to camp. And so she got to place it by the information the guides gave to say, Karen, this happened at a campground. This happened at in the spring session or the summer session. I can't remember exactly what session, but they came in and like gave that pertinent information. And she went, okay, yes, she did go. And I said, and then she wouldn't go to camp after that summer. Oh my God, that's right. She never went back to camp. Now, that's startling, but it's her affirmation as well, because she's sitting there going, oh my God, this is correct. And you can see as she's taking it in, it's like, okay, what else can you give me to validate this for me? And so the spirit guides they give her as much as I'm capable of. I'm going to say as I'm capable of in a period of time. So we knew we had our work cut out for us. And I mean we, as in the spirit guides and I, and we as in mom and I. So there were a ton of check-ins. Way more than in the average session. There were lots of ticks on her page, which all clients know mean that we're checking in with them. So I said to her, what do you need? You might need time. You might not even want to progress or process in this information. You just may need your time. And I said, what do you want me to do? No. She says, you've given me enough validations. I'm going with this. And she goes, I need to ask the guides a question. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to tell me where she's at in her head. So I started doodling crazy on the page, automatic writing as to what the guides are telling me, what she's asking. Thank God it's what she comes out with. How do I handle this? And the guides are like, okay, so we're going to put all the validations on the page. We're going to write down a process, and we're going to talk to her about being able to approach her daughter about that summer. And say, I saw a psychic. I have a page. I'd like to give you a copy. I'd like you to see what she's written on the page. I would like to present an opportunity for a conversation.
Oh, beautiful.
And she's listening going, I love this. And I said, it allows her to become aware that you know. It allows her the choice to deny. It allows her privacy. It allows her time to process this and to make a decision. Are you my person, Mom? So and the guide said,
Oh my God, you're amazing.
thank you. And the guide said, you can also say to her, it's all written on the page and I'm here to support you. But if you'd prefer therapy, if you'd prefer another person, I'm willing to. And then we wrote down all the things she was willing to. I am willing to pay for therapy, which she is. She's financially okay, so she's willing to pay for therapy. I am willing to pay for rehab, which again, she's financially okay to say, I can handle this. I am willing. And so she says to her daughter, I've written down, and I went, no. Like the guides wrote it all on the page. I am willing. And we wrote down all these options for her daughter to read and reread again and again. And I wrote down underneath it, what matters is I love you. And I said, are you okay with what I've written? And she's like, I love what you've written. So I said, well, I'm going to take a picture, which is my normal process anyway, at the end of a session, and I'm going to send it to you. You can print it. And when you're ready, you can do with it what you need to if you want to proceed with this process the guides have suggested, which would be, as far as I can tell, your daughter would be open to. Wow, I want to go right to step 2 in this. She followed through.
Mom,
Kari followed through like a freaking trooper. Oh my God, Kelly. She got her shit together. And I can tell you the timeline. She followed through, I'd say within a week.
Wow.
Oh yes, because this lady ends up seeing me regularly. So she follows through with her daughter and gives her the sheet and just says, this is what came through in your session. And she does what the guide suggested. She hands it to her daughter and her daughter opens it in front of her and reads it. And she sees that a psychic, me, has given her this information. And she looks up at her mom and she goes, okay, I'm ready. And I'm like, oh God, when I heard all of this, like, I was just like, I couldn't cry during the session, but boy, did I happy dance in the kitchen with her spirit and all the spirit guides at the end of the day. And so she says to her mom, she says, Mom, she says, I'm ready to talk about it. And she says, and I'm ready to take you up on a rehab again. And she says, and I would like to do rehab with Karen.
Oh.
And her mom goes, what? And she goes, well, her name's Karen. It's on the sheet. Like this. So she looked up the letterhead and she looked down. I had written my name in some corner. I can't remember why. Is my name on the bottom of the sheet too?
Your logo.
Oh, yeah,
our
right.
show, your email, your phone number.
True.
How do I get clients?
So, you are right to mock me, daughter. I accept.
I want people to know that amidst this mockery, Karen is actually a brilliant driving force of our marketing.
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All of the great ideas for advertising.
Yeah.
So this has been good fun.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody that watches our show regularly totally knows this.
But I think too, like, I also want to acknowledge you out loud, not just to them, but actually to you, to say that I can be in this moment, but also know, we wouldn't be here without you. And your human clarity.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So she booked an appointment.
Okay, I
daughter.
also want to make a responsible disclaimer that Karen is not, and nor am I, actually a rehab.
Oh, no. She
And
went to rehab.
I understand, but
Yeah.
you said she made the comment she wanted to do rehab with Karen.
Oh, no, pardon me. She wanted to do rehab and Karen.
Oh, that's not how it came out.
Sorry, let's clarify.
Okay.
So she goes to rehab and she asks for appointments with me.
Okay.
And then I want to say what came out in her sessions.
Okay.
So what came out in, and who's the daughter?
Oh, this is fun. Okay. Damn it, I'm running out of names. Grey's needs more characters. Okay, I will go with Shannon.
Okay. So Shannon I'm trying to think here. Shannon does, I think it's her first session, and she tells me all about the appointment with her mom, but I can't remember any of it, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I remember you debriefing me about this.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Shannon sat down at the very beginning of the session, and she said, you had a session with my mom, and you told her things about me.
Oh.
And you were like, oh, fuck.
Oh.
And you were like, do I need to apologize? And she was like, nope, I'm here to say thank you.
Oh.
Because I, in this lifetime, don't think I would have got to a place of being able to tell her.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I didn't realize when you sat down and I was picking a name for Kari that this was the story you were telling. And this is the most that I know so far. But that's how she approached you.
Huh. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So Shannon, in her session, is told that rehab is where she needs to stay and to keep repeating it as often as they allow her to. So I don't know what the rules are with different rehab centers. I have no idea. But that she's to do that and that she can continue her sessions with me. And that if her mom is financially okay, she's also to get into therapy. So she will have sometimes, rehab might say, we don't want you to see Karen, which apparently they never did. But she was guided to, if you're in one thing and they tell you, just see us, then just see them. Mm-hmm. If that's their rule, follow their rule. But then when you come out, go back to all of your support. So she's told about support systems, but that they're not her girlfriend group, that her support is not running to somebody else who's drinking too.
No, my God, your support group in any situation is supposed to be educated people.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, you've just got little minions.
There's significance to this. Yes, because when she had done rehab in the years prior, she didn't do the other forms of support. When she was in rehab, she would come out and go back to the same group of people. And then go back into the drinking eventually because she hung out with the same people who weren't getting their help to get out of it. And that was part of the problem, is that she wasn't finding healthy people to keep her in her healthy new patterns. The unhealthy people could pull her back in.
Hope everyone heard that.
Yeah?
Whether you're an alcoholic or not.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're just in some really shitty patterns in your own friendship groups. I hope you heard all of that.
Oh, yeah. That goes into groups where they gossip. And you're trying to break your gossiping pattern. And you go back to the same group that sits down or complains. You go out on the weekend and the friend group just complains about their partners. Or they complain about work all the time.
Or just refuses to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, mom and daughter get into Sips of Sanity and Patreon, and they get into all kinds of the toolkits.
Lovely.
So, and they share them and they print them and they go back and forth talking to each other about, I'm working on this tool. And what comes of it over the last, it's well over a year now, it's many years, is that they have a common vocabulary.
Yes. Yes, Shannon.
Oh,
yes, Kari.
They have a common way to be able to speak to each other, and they learned and loved checking in. So they go back and re-listen to the shows on how you check in, and we worked on this. How are we going to change our check-ins with each other and with strangers? And oh my God, Kelly, she learns to do check-ins with her doctors. She learns to do proper check-ins before she goes to an appointment. She starts to do her self-evaluating before she goes to rehab. So when she walks in the door, she comes in with her journal and her work, and she goes, I'm back, and here's where I'm at, what I'm struggling with this time.
Cool.
It is so cool. Currently, each time each of them book an appointment, they come in prepared. And we now are able to ask the spirit guides to complement what the rehab is doing and what therapy is doing.
Cool.
I do. I think that's so cool. And I love it because I'm never prepared. right? Like there's,
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you mean the clients are prepared or the spirit guides are prepared?
I love it that the clients are prepared.
Okay.
I love it that the spirit guides are prepared. And I love it that I'm never prepared. Because I think that is the perfect combination.
Oh, yeah.
The guides know what the hell they're doing. They know everything and what's going on everywhere. I don't, and I don't want to. Because I want it to be pure channeling. You and I want to give it word for word.
Yep.
I think it is so cool to know that it is complementing what the other two groups of people are doing for both women. I love it that it is giving them an education, that it is giving them one little tool. Like we don't bury them under tools. I know sometimes in a session they'll come in, one of them will come in and say, my therapist has asked me to ask you this question today. And quite often that's about going into buried memories or past lifetimes or patterns or trying to figure out something that she's blocked in her memory from what's going on currently between the drinking and that abusive moment or situation. To give them information to go back, and they record their sessions, they write notes, and I send them mine. Oh, like
Well, you're hearing responsibility.
yeah. Yeah, and I like how the guides keep it simple and don't overstress each one of them. And how the two women go off and do their own work, but when they talk to each other or they have to call each other and say, the daughter, like, hey, Mom, do you remember when I was a kid, did this happen to me? Did this? How her mom will be like, oh, she's doing her work. Okay. And then she'll be able to like not take it personally like, oh, she's seeing if I'm a bad mother. She's like, oh, no, she's doing her work. Okay, yes, someone has asked her this question. She's doing homework. So, and she'll say things like, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask Karen that.
This is cool because you're bringing up a whole other situation here, and if anyone is doing their own work in therapy or courses or, reading books and reflecting, and you have an opportunity because your parents are still alive to say to them, hey, did this happen? Or, hey, when this happened, how did you handle it that I might not have seen? If parents actually are willing to be humble and admit to how well or not well they handled a situation, there's actual room for healing in that, even if you shit the bed in the moment and know better now.
Shit the bed.
Right? And so to be able to go, okay, yes, you were abused. I knew it was happening. I didn't stand up for it until you were this age, or someone else stepped in, and that's when I felt I could stand up and challenge, right? And it's not... I mean, it takes maturity on both ends for people to not go into blaming and accusing parents and just being able to say, I need to understand what happened, right?
I love what you just said. I need to understand.
Yeah, because if you're just calling a parent and saying, why the fuck didn't you stand up for me? What is your problem? I was a kid. Those are all your feelings, and those are valid. And those are good questions. But first, it has to come to a place of, can you please help me understand if you knew, like, how come you didn't speak up? Talk to me about why you couldn't or didn't.
And I know, Kelly, that there are parents who won't answer those questions honestly.
Yeah, and I when I first brought this up, I was trying to address those parents to be able to say, you could take that moment and turn it into something incredible.
You can. Yeah, I love how you're guiding them to that or suggesting it. And I know for the clients whose parents can't or just won't for their own reasons, that's what the sessions can help them get to, where there is an unwillingness, but on the parent's part, but a real willingness on the person's part to do their own healing. So if you have a parent that will participate, cool. If you don't, then a session is perfect. Or if you have a parent that's dead, even better. I meant that in a good way.
I know. I just thought that was great.
I mean, we're mediums. We talk to the dead
I
person.
understand.
Okay. Yes. Oh, right. That did
If
not
anyone
come out
trailed
okay.
off and then just came back and heard that part, they'd be like, what? Oh.
Okay. But
good.
coming
It's
from
good.
two mediums,
good.
that's a great response.
Yeah.
And also, coming from the fact that our intention is healing, when sometimes the parents' intentions are defend myself, protect my partner, protect the other person who might have abused this person. I don't want them to go to jail. I don't want them to have the police on their doorstep. I'm going to keep the secret. Where you and I don't have any agenda like that.
Yeah.
And we're not worried about whether someone's going to go to jail or not. That's not our business. Our business is to be in touch with the spirit guides, to tell what the truth is, and to hold the energy to heal it. And to give the person the information and let them make their own choices with it. Because that gives them back a sense of healing and a sense of control that was taken away.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well worded.
Yeah. Anyway, so I continue to see these two people.
Cool.
I continue to be part of their health team, which I love being. And I say I, meaning the guides and I. Because without the guides, without their soul and their spirit connection, I don't have anything.
I mean, you're a cool person, but
I understand my role. I've accepted it. Very happily. I'm thrilled to be part of this kind of a team. And I'm thrilled that they have found people in psychology that are using the ability and saying, go ask Karen these questions.
come bring me information.
Yes, come back and just drop off the voice recording a week before your session so that I can listen to it. And do I have permission to call Karen about this if I need to ask her questions? And it's like, that's fantastic.
So guys, like as you're listening and you're hearing, this was a distance session. So if you're recording on your end or we're sending you a Zoom recording, like you can take that file and drop it in a Google Drive with your therapist or deliver it to their door or whatever is safe for you. This isn't a situation of we have a tangible recording in our home that you have to come get.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I refuse to have those.
Oh, same. Yeah.
Everything in my world gets shredded and deleted.
Yeah.
I just want to do the job and to give people the responsibility to do their own stuff. My codependent shit is over.
And you're over responsibility.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And I like it too that the whoever is in this rehab center is very open to this. They're not sitting there saying, well, I don't believe in any of that, so I refuse to listen. They might not believe in it, but at least they're saying, I would be willing to listen to see if there's anything of value that we can use.
Yeah.
And I think that in and of itself speaks volumes for those people. Those I don't know what all their names are in terms of social workers and all of the beautiful things these people are. But just the fact that they're saying, hey, if you're doing something where you're showing that you're working, then we have value. Let's put value to that.
Let's build on that together.
Yeah. And what I believe around that isn't really the issue. Let's work with what we've got. I can work with that.
Oh, yeah.
I can work with any kind of organization
Well, you're
that has
talking
that.
about working with the willing.
Yes. Which I've learned over the last 14 years.
People are like, yeah, we heard complaints about the salmon, Karen. We get it.
And that's it.
Cool. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So to all of you, if you have questions or comments about today's show, please email us at info@bysarlo.com. We also want to invite you to like, share, subscribe, write a testimonial or review to any of our posts. We just really appreciate the way that you interact with all of our content. It helps us reach a wider something. I think I'm fading. I'm sorry. But I'm here and it was a good podcast. We do want you to have an excellent weekend, a restful one. You can join me in that. And we will have new shows and a new background for you next week.
You need a nap.
I do.